Hello everyone, this is our experimental setup, diesel engine, twin cylinder diesel engine. On this experiment we are going to perform 3 experiments. Okay, so let us first go through the different components of diesel engine. So first of all, this is twin cylinder, cylinder 1 and cylinder 2. Okay, then the upper portion, you can see this gap. Okay, this is the cylinder head and crankcase. From this line below it will be having a crankcase. At the lower portion here it will be having a oil sump, and this is the flywheel. As it is a diesel engine, these are the injectors, fuel injectors, and which will be supplying fuel. From the back end there will be a fuel pump. This is a decompression lever. Now this is manually operated engine, so for cranking purpose, initially we have the cylinder will not be as a compress, it will not compress the air. Initially we'll open it so that it will require less effort for cranking, and once the engine is running at a higher RPM, we have to close these valves, then the compression will start. In the setup, this is a fuel tank. Fuel will be taken from here, okay, this pipe, and this is a burette tube in which we can record the fuel consumption. Okay, then the fuel line will be sent to rear side, that is fuel pump. Okay, so there is a fuel filter from which it will be supplied to fuel pump. Okay, and from here we cut off the fuel cutter, so we can cut off the fuel or we can adjust the RPM, means fuel supply to the engine. Okay, so the atmospheric fuel, which is at atmospheric pressure, is sent to this fuel pump. Okay, and with the help of this is a mechanical fuel pump where the pressure of the fuel is increased. So you can see the difference. The inlet of the pump is made up of a flexible pipe, whereas the outlet of the pump is made up of a metallic pipe. Due to higher pressure, to withstand that higher pressure, that's why it is made up of metallic pipe. And then this fuel line directly goes to the injector, right? So here is the inlet to the injector, and this portion which supplies the fuel to cylinder, okay, combustion chamber, where it will be supplied. And the remaining portion, the return line, you can see, suppose the excess fuel is there, which will be taken here from this line, and again it will be sent to the tank. So this is the fuel supply line. Okay, then next part, for cranking purpose, this is a shaft which is connected to a crankshaft, and with the help of this lever we can crank the engine. We have to just fit this and rotate this lever. After rotating, the engine will start running. So while doing so, we have to keep this decompression lever in on condition. Okay, and once it is start rotating, just you have to push this in down position, so the engine will start running. Okay, the next thing, the fuel supply. Sorry, we have seen the fuel supply. Let us see the air supply. So in air supply, here there is a tank where at the top there is the inlet. Okay, so in this there is an orifice which we can measure the air supply to the engine. Okay, this is the intake manifold, which is divided into 2 parts. So intake to cylinder 1 and intake to cylinder 2. So this is the fuel supply system, air supply system. Then exhaust from the engine will be taken out from this metallic pipe. Okay, so this is exhaust manifold which is connected to the outlet of the engine. Okay, then next, so we can check the level of oil, lubricating oil. So you can see the black portion, that is the lubricating oil. If you want to check how much is the lubricating oil, so this is the dipstick provided, and from this hole itself we can refuel the oil. Suppose if we want to top up the lubricating oil, we can top up from here itself. Then we have seen that in the combustion engine there is only one power stroke, okay, and 3 strokes which require the power. For that there is a flywheel which will store the energy during the power stroke, and that energy can be utilized while the suction stroke, compression stroke and exhaust stroke. Then same crankshaft, okay, is connected to an hydraulic dynamometer, okay, to measure. Suppose if I want to apply the load on the engine, so with the help of this dynamometer we can apply the load on the engine and we can measure how much is the load and how the performance of the engine can be done. So how to apply the load on the engine, that we'll see. Okay, initially after starting the engine, so these two position, first initially it should be in horizontal position, okay, then we have to, with the help of the scale, okay, we can apply the load on the engine. Here you can see, so when we put it at 0, it will be in 0 condition, okay. By rotating this lever we can make it in 0 condition, and then after starting the engine, first we have to take the reading with the 0 load condition. So now at present the load on the engine is 0. So while doing so, now this two knobs should be in the horizontal position, that you have to get it in horizontal position, okay. Then we can say that the load on the engine is 0, okay. Then here at this point we measure the RPM, okay. With the help of tachometer we measure the RPM. I will show you in the experiment while taking the readings. I will show you how to take the reading, RPM reading, okay. Then if I want to apply the load on the engine, suppose if I want to apply the load, you have to rotate this. When we rotate this lever, with the help of this lever we can add the load on the engine, keep on adding the load on the engine with the help of this hydraulic dynamometer. Then this part you can see, this is an exhaust port which is coming to a calorimeter, where we can measure the temperature of exhaust gases and then it is sent to exhaust. So this is an calorimeter where we can measure the exhaust temperature, how much is the heat carried away by the exhaust gases. Then we require cooling water, okay. So inlet water cooling which is supplied, and there will be an outlet, okay. So that will be provided. So in first experiment we will see how to take the readings, okay.